time for some doom and gloom now as we take a look at the Canadian animated series Ruby Gloom. The show follows the daily life of a girl who lives in a large Victorian mansion in the town of Gloomsville. The show lasted for 2 seasons with 40 episodes being made and aired from 2006. We meet many other unique characters throughout the show. Okay, so now that we have the background, let's take a look at a couple of episodes. First up we have Gloom a Rumor. So we head towards the haunted house as Ruby is riding around on her pennefarthing as someone is shouting for her. She looks through the keyhole as she sees a 2-headed person. Ruby jumps down as she tries to hide from them. Everyone else is looking for Ruby as well as she parachutes away. Everyone is looking for Ruby as she then enters a house as we see a raven dance around on a typewriter. Ruby asks what she has to do to get some privacy around these parts. So Ruby is telling the raven everything as she explains she was planning a surprise party as the raven is messing around. He says her friends are acting out of character. He suggests they aren't themselves as Ruby wonders what happened today as a narrator chimes in and rewinds the day. So from the top we see Ruby writing in her diary as she is boasting about her surprise party. The cat tries to figure out what the party is for as Ruby says it is May Day, so they deserve a party. The cat then hints at someone spying as Ruby goes to hide the book. Suddenly Misery arrives as she is upset at all the rain. Ruby tells her to look on the bright side as she explains bad things happen to her when it doesn't rain. Misery talks about how her cousin was struck by lightning twice as Ruby says it won't happen to her as Misery says it runs in the family. Ruby can't believe it as she suggests to Misery to wash her hair. Misery then submits as she goes to wash her hair. Ruby then gets back to plotting the surprise party. Suddenly Iris comes running in as she explains she wanted to go flying today but couldn't because of the rain, so she hurts herself. Ruby says Iris is very adventurous as she then says there are many adventures in these books. So Ruby is walking through the hallway with all the presents as a skeleton is painting on the ceiling. He is boasting about he must be related to all the famous painters in the world as Ruby doesn't care as she is in a rush. The skeleton gets back to painting as Iris doesn't know what to read. She suddenly finds Ruby's diary as the cat is trying to tell her a message. Iris goes ahead and reads it as she can't believe Ruby has a secret. She goes off to find Ruby as the cat stops her. She tries to explain as Iris doesn't understand. So Misery is getting her hair washed as Iris comes over and tells her she has news. She boasts about Ruby's secret as Ruby then comes over as they try to hide from each other. They ask why she is moving with that big box as Misery suggests she is moving out. She cries as Iris can't believe it. Suddenly we see the skeleton as he adds his misinformation. The gang can't believe Ruby is moving out as they say they have to do the things Ruby told them to do otherwise Ruby will leave them. They cry as the sound travels to the 2-headed guy as they think Ruby is sick, so they go to find her as Ruby is still planning the party. The cat points out someone is coming as the 2-headed guy comes over and tells Ruby they are going to miss her. They hug as Ruby doesn't understand what they are on about. They ask if they can do anything for her as Ruby then tells them to hold onto the rod until she tells them it's okay to let go. So Ruby goes off as the 2-headed guy thinks Ruby is in denial about dying as they get into a fight with himself. So Iris and Misery are watching Ruby as they are trying to impress Ruby by saying they are happy. But Misery gets struck by lightning as Iris can't believe it. She grabs Ruby as they rush out of the house and go on an adventure. Iris puts Ruby in a cannon as she shoots her off into the sky. She lands in the water as she then walks back to Frank and Len. They then play a song. It is a very bad song but Ruby loves it. They say it is for Ruby's upcoming event as Ruby can't believe there is no privacy in this house. Frank and Len talk about the second stage of anger as Ruby begs them not to tell anyone in exchange for sandwiches. They deal as Ruby then goes off. Frank and Len talk about the third stage as they then get upset as they think Ruby is dying. So Ruby is making cakes as the skeleton then comes in and says it is time to make a picture. He paints away as Ruby doesn't care. She goes out of the room as Iris comes over and wants her to go on an adventure with her. Ruby dashes off into Misery as she pretends to be happy. She then falls down the stairs as the skeleton shows off something he has made for Ruby. Ruby panics and runs away as everyone is shouting for her. So back with the Ravens, Ruby is trying to figure out what happened as she says they have to relive the day's events as they go sneaking around. They go to read the diary as they find out someone has read it. The Raven can't believe it as the cat explains everything. They see some cookie crumbs as the Raven doesn't have any idea. They find out Iris read the diary as Ruby says they have to throw them off the trail of the surprise party. Ruby is trying to trick Iris and Misery as they finally give Ruby some space. They all head back into their rooms as Ruby is doing everything for the party. She asks if anyone is there as she can't believe everyone has gone. So Frank and Len are still at the pole playing their music as Ruby comes over and asks how they're doing. Ruby tells them to give out the invites as she says she can't find anyone. Frank and Len says they are pleased to carry out her final wish. They say they are going to miss her as Ruby doesn't understand what they are on about. Frank and Len are talking about stage for depression as they can't believe Ruby is sending out invites to her own funeral. So Ruby is doing her stuff as she asks the Raven what is happening. He suggests just asking them as the gang then come over the hill as they say they have to meet in the garden. Ruby says they have to hide again as everyone goes to do that. The gang come in as they are saying it is a goodbye party. They say something is not right as they say Ruby is acting strange. Iris says if Ruby wants to go, then they will throw the best goodbye party ever. They go off to fix that up as Ruby overhears them, as she picks up on where everything has gone wrong. So at the party everyone arrives as everyone can't believe it. Misery gets upset as Ruby then confesses she isn't going anywhere as she explains she was just planning a May Day party. Ruby explains she isn't leaving as the gang don't believe her, as Ruby tricks them as she has changed her mind. They all are pleased as Ruby tells the cat to start the party. They party away as Misery is happy for real. She gets shocked once more as Frank and Len are at Ruby's grave. They are upset, but then Ruby comes in. They are scared as they say she is dead. Frank and Len can't believe Ruby is still here as Ruby insists she isn't dead, but she then gives in and says she is dead. They say it is stage 5 as we then get a little puppet show from Misery. She pretends to be Iris and Ruby as she says she is great. The place falls apart as the episode then ends. Next up we have Doom with a view. So we jump straight in with a whilst as we see the Ravens play their music. It is pretty funky music as all the Ravens are watching. The main Raven then spits a poem. It is a good little rhyme as the wood then breaks in two and the Raven falls through it. We then find out it was all a dream as the Raven wakes up and tries to finish his poem. So on to the main show. Someone is screaming as we hear the radio. Ruby is listening in as she is joining in. The radio then cuts out as Ruby is upset. She turns it back on as the radio continues telling the story. It then cuts out again as Ruby blames her cat. She turns it back on as it misses the important part. Ruby pats the cat on the head as we then see Misery knitting a scarf for her puppets. One of the heads flies away and lands in front of the cat. She gets scared as Misery is not happy she is watching her, so Frank and Len are trying to make music as they get into an argument about their tuning pegs. They spot the cat as they blame her. The gang go to Ruby as they ask if the cat is okay as she is scaring her dragon friend. They then hear a noise as they go to investigate. They see the place messed up as Ruby can't explain it. They see the cat running around as she goes for a midnight snack. The cat goes running around as she heads up to the attic. She sees a mirror as she then sees a ghost. The ghost tries to scare her as it doesn't work. The cat walks downstairs as suddenly Misery hits the ghost. The cat then follows the ghost into his room as we see some of his family as they are saying he is an embarrassment to the ghost family. They say they have to scare someone to unlock the ability to go through walls. He goes out of the room as he boasts about scaring someone. The gang see something is wrong with the cat as Ruby heads into the closet. The cat is trying to explain everything with the ghosts as the gang don't understand. Ruby finally figures it out as she goes to look around. She says she believes her as Iris says the cat needs help, so the gang are talking about their previous pets as Ruby then picks up a book and reads the 33 rules to look after your pet. One of the kids then cries for some reason. He says sorry to his other head as they make up. Ruby reminds them it's all about the cat as she then sees the ghost again. The gang can't see the ghost as the cat goes to chase it. Frank suggests it could be otherworldly as he says cats have a fifth sense. Ruby says that is a stupid idea as Iris says they all have 5 senses. Frank and Len go off as the ghost then tries to scare them. They go to check out the other rooms as Ruby says they will figure it out as Frank and Len are looking around the other room. They get scared by Misery as they talk about an Ouija board to call out ghosts. Misery says her aunt died because the board fell on her as Frank and Len can't believe that story. They then suggest they need a board to get the ghost out, so they run out of the room to find one. Misery tells us to be aware of the cupboard as Iris and Ruby are planning another party as the cat bumps into Misery. She talks about her famous tablecloth that was saved from the Great Fire of London. Ruby can't believe that Story as Frank and Len are still trying to contact the ghost, but they have the wrong board. They look for a drawing board as the cat then chases the ghost into the closet, so we see the ghost get into the back of a mafia car as the cat is scared of the family. They say he has to go back to ghost school as they then jump out of the closet scared. Ruby sees the cat is scared as Iris says she must have seen a ghost. Ruby then figures it out as they say they can't wait to meet him. They go around looking for him to some music. They see something on the radio as they investigate the slime. They all nod as the cat then shows the way to the ghost. So the gramophone is teaching the ghost about how to be scary as the ghost doesn't know how to be scary. He says he hates ghost school as the gang arrive to the attic. They find out a ghost is there as only the cat can see it. Ruby and Iris can't believe it as they say the ghost should scare them at the dinner party. So Iris talks to Ruby about the party as Ruby says it will be great to greet the ghost as Frank and Len pick up the wrong board again. Misery talks about her tablecloth as Ruby then tells everyone to greet the ghost as the cat goes off and does a little mime. Ruby can't believe what the cat is telling her as she comes up with a plan to help the ghost scare them. Ruby then gets scared as she pretends. Everyone then joins in as the ghost is bigging himself up. He goes in and scares everyone as he can't believe he has done it. But he still can't go through walls as he is confused, so he heads back to the family as they say they have to do it themselves. They say it won't be easy if he wants to go through walls. The ghost goes off as the ghosts thank each other. So everyone is still pretending to be scared as they get tired. Frank and Len are showing off their board as they ask why he is here. The cat can still see what is going on as he then throws milk over him. Everyone then can see the ghost as they say he is cute. The ghost tries to say he is scary as some milk then flies onto the tablecloth. He finally scares them as he then can go through walls. He is so happy to be a real ghost as everyone says well done to him. He goes off to tell his family as everyone is then listening to the radio again. Ruby turns it off as the cat is just being normal again. The ghost tries to scare them as it doesn't work this time. So we then get a blooper reel for some reason. It's not that funny as the episode then ends. Finally we have writing on the wall. So we jump straight into some dating tips as Misery tells us some tips with her little doll friend. It doesn't go well as she says she loves her doll friend. So onto the main show we see Frank and Len doing the laundry as they are rushing around. They drop a sock as they rush towards the basement. Everyone then rushes into the room as they all want to use the washing machine. The bat asks who is going to use the machine first as Ruby then suggests they play a game of rock paper scissors as the raven shows off his pants. The bat is scared of the shapes as the gang go to play but the bat trips and falls into the group. Ruby then announces the order of who can use the machine. They all leave as they leave the bat in there alone as he is very scared. He says laundry should be a group activity as suddenly the place starts to shake and lightning appears. The bat can't believe it as he is scared like no tomorrow. He then gets shocked as he goes to hide. He says he can't believe the laundry is this hard as suddenly the wall collapses and they see some drawings on the wall. The bat and his bunny plush go over and investigate the drawings as they can't believe it. He says the queen is coming for tea as he says he must tell Ruby, but then changes his mind and keeps it a secret. He says he is excited as he goes off, so Frank and Len are sorting their clothes out as the bat then rings the bell to let Frank and Len go downstairs. So they then see the drawings on the wall as they try to figure out what it all means. I think you can tell where this is going. Frank and Len say the queen is coming to scout them as they go off to practice for the queen. Len says they can't tell Ruby as they go off. They ring the bell to let the skeleton know it is his turn as guess what? He goes to read the drawings on the wall. He comes to the conclusion he is the king's offspring. So he goes to get ready for the queen's arrival as the raven then hears the bell for his turn. The raven heads down to the basement as he then goes inside. He can't believe what he saw as he then goes to get ready for the queen's arrival as well. He flies over Ruby as she is just sitting there reading as she can't believe the raven was in a hurry. She shows off the book to her cat as she tries to explain what the picture is in the book. So they go to wash their clothes as Ruby then sees the wall. She tries to read the drawings as she suggests the cat has royal blood in her. She also reads more about her friends as lightning then strikes. She hides as more of the wall is then revealed. They talk about a UFO as Ruby says they have to tell the others. The cat says that is a bad idea as Ruby listens to her cat. So Frank and Len are getting ready by playing their music. The doorbell goes off as they go to answer it. It is Ruby as they force her in. She listens to their music as their guitar sets on fire. Ruby says it is great as she explains a visitor is coming. Frank and Len already know this as they say they are welcoming them with open arms as Ruby is confused on why they wrote a song for them. Ruby comes out as she is trying to please the cat, so the raven is looking in the mirror as he is boasting to himself. It breaks as he puts on a hat. He thinks it is the queen as it is Ruby and the cat. They ask if they have seen the skeleton as he says he finally knows where he has come from. The skeleton says he is an Egyptian as the raven is trying on different hats. Ruby is confused as she says a visitor is coming. They also say they know as Ruby goes for a cup of tea. She can't find anything to use as the bat comes and takes the last one away. He is setting up the table as Ruby is confused on why he is dressed as a mummy. The room then shakes as everyone says it is time as the heavens open. Everyone holds hands as something arrives. They can't believe it isn't a queen as it is just some device. They then hear something from the front of the house. They all dash off to see what it is as they see something strange. They all say what they think it is as they are all confused. They take the thing inside as they are scared of it. Ruby says she will open it as the skeleton then gets his machine to open the package. The wind stops them from opening it as Misery comes in and says it is her package. They all say it is booby-trapped as Misery then opens it. Loads of Egyptian-themed stuff comes out. Misery tells them to party as the gang can't believe it. They ask where everything they think is as Misery is confused. They all go to the wall as Misery explains it all out. She explains she wants to celebrate her family getting bitten by a snake as Ruby asks what about the shaking. Misery says it was the dancing as the house shakes once more. The gang are sad they fell for it as Ruby says they will all be royalty to her as Misery tells them it's time to party. So Frank and Len play the music as the gang party in their outfits. They say it was a great party idea as Misery says she has another party planned for another time as the gang are shocked. We then get some yo-yo tips with the raven as he explains all about it. It's all very silly as he says something about a rubber ducky. He does a monologue about the yo-yo as Ruby then comes on and shows it off. It doesn't go well as the episode ends. In conclusion, Ruby Gloom was an okay show, but it was nothing memorable, so I would have to pass on this one. The characters were okay, but with it all being horror-themed and doom and gloomy, it didn't translate well into a good kids show where the main premise is to be happy and have fun. Like, who would choose to watch a depressing show? The plots were okay for a silly horror show, but the theming didn't work in my opinion, so it would be a pass from me. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.